All right. Be live in about 30 seconds. So all you're gonna have to do is, I'll introduce you. You tell your story, and I'll probably have some questions for you, and we'll just go from there. Welcome to Rock and Recovery. Your host, me. You got a guest, Rocky, over here. He's a music producer. He's also in recovery. He's also a paralegal. So let's hear it for Rocky. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got sober and stayed sober? How's your sober journey been?
Oh man, it's been a long, bumpy road, man. Man, I had a pill addiction, benzodiazepines, Xanax, stuff like that, all the way back since 2003 when my father passed away. Just taking on you know, the absence of him in my life. He was a big part of my life, and I think the day after he passed away, somebody gave me a Xanax at work, and man, it just totally took that away. That feeling. So after work, I asked the fella, I said, "Man, what was that you gave me?" He said, "Oh, it's something I get for stress." I didn't know what they looked like. I had heard of them, Xanax pills. Then I said, "Man, let me get a couple more." Then, man, they put me at ease. Well, little did I know, I'm taking something that creates a habit. You got to have it once you keep taking it. So he turns into like my little dealer at work. And I don't realize it, but I'm killing myself, man. So uh, I ended up leaving that job a couple months later, and all of a sudden, I'm not buying these drugs from this dude no more. And I'm noticing things happening. I'm noticing I'm going through withdrawal. I don't know what's going on, so I go to the doctor, and the doctor puts me on them. And it turns out to be not a real significantly good doctor. It turns out to be a doctor that just wants that paycheck. So he keeps me on them for a couple of years. And long story short, man, I ended up doing 10 years in prison behind something tragic when you mix alcohol with benzos. And I lost a decade of my life, man. And got out in 2019. And because of the work I did in prison with other prisoners, I was like a jailhouse lawyer. You know what I mean? I help people get their cases exonerated, get their time reduced. And I got out and tried my best to stay sober, man. But after a decade of being incarcerated, man, you tend to fall, you slip, And I slipped a couple times, man. But I got my butt in some school, got licensed, took on a little internship, and now I'm owning a freelance company, Legacy Legal Group, out of Houston, soon to be out of Killeen. I'm about to relocate to Killeen, Texas for a certain pretty big contract. But I've been sober now for probably about 2.5 years. Doing good, man. I still drink a beer once in a while. Beer, was never really a problem. But as far as the benzo addiction, man, I've kicked it in the butt. I'm proud to say. Um, so long I can't give you a date no more. I used to be able to say, like everybody, 61 days, 58 days. But it's been so long, man, and I'm real proud of myself. It's been a long, like I said, it's been a long, bumpy road, though, man. It's one of the
So,
hardest. Go
so
ahead.
what are the? So I know you just said you were in prison for 10 years. Was that because of your addiction?
I will say it had something to do with it. Uh, when you mix benzos with alcohol,
Yeah.
it's a deadly combo. And I got into an altercation, and I reacted a little too
Right.
much. That's what that deadly combination is. It creates a venom. It creates a little too much anger. When you normally would just get slightly offended, you get extremely offended. And
Absolutely.
I'm don't really want to get into details, but
You don't need to.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
it was a tragedy.
So did you do a program in prison to get you out? Did you get were you in a programs while in prison? You were you
Well,
get starting to get clean in prison?
I was forced to get clean in prison or in jail. I sat in county jail for 2 years fighting my
Wow.
case, and then finally signed a plea bargain and signed for 15 years. I did 10 and got out on parole. But in jail, I was forced to get sober, And basically, throughout my, after withdrawals and after, you completely kick it from there, it's just forward motion, and if you don't have the opportunity, of course you had opportunities. I mean, it's jail. You can get anything you want in there, it's prison. But by the grace of God, man, I had my head on straight. I was trying to come home. I had family. I had kids growing up. I was trying to get home to them. I was a knucklehead for a little while, but then I got my head on straight, and I went to school. I did some trade classes and started my college courses. Got a little microcomputer applications, and got out, finished that up, and then I got into the paralegal school, and it's been going good ever since, man.
So what was your turning point that in addiction that said, hey, I've got a problem, I need to stop this? Was it the actual prison sentence, or was it afterwards? Because you said you continued to use a little bit, like most of us felons will hit the gate and we'll try something. I did it many times. That's how I stayed, So when was the absolute quit point, and what made you want to quit?
Around 2020, into 2020, early 2021, I met a young lady, and we started dating, and it turned quick into a live-in situation, and I realized she had an undercover opiate addiction, and I didn't know anything about opiates. I didn't know anything about them. That whole epidemic happened while I was in prison. So I came out not knowing the warning signs and et cetera, et cetera. And find out she had a whatever pill addiction, but her main thing was opiates, and it just turned into, man, due to being with her and not wanting to let go, it turned into me just letting down my guard, man, and just starting to say, you know what, man, we can mess around a little bit, and I learned real quick, man, that person was tearing me down, like every inch of strength I had, that whole brick wall I had put up to defend my freedom, my family, my livelihood. I wasn't going to work. I started, drinking way too much. I started just a downward cycle, and it turned toxic. And anyway, around 2021, I tried to kill myself, man. I ended up in a mental hospital for a couple of days, and like, once again, by the grace of God, I didn't succeed, but that was the turning point right there. That was the turning point right there, man. I realized, man, I love me. I've never not loved me. I've never not had a smile on my face, and I had noticed it. Everybody around me had been telling me, man, like you're not even happy, man. You're not even smiling no more. Like you're not even talking about music no more. All you're talking about is, let me get on home. I'm tired, and I just wasn't happy. And when your own kids are telling you this, and your best friends, and it wasn't sinking in. But whenever I was laying in that hospital bed, man, I said, man, something's got to give, man. And
Something's got to give.
Yeah, I finally got the strength to walk away, and walking away from her was the thing that I kept walking. I didn't just walk away from her. I walked away from all negativity. Anything,
So did you do it cold turkey, or did you continue to go to a program, or did you do a 12-step? What kept you kept you in sobriety, kept you going the next day?
Well, I did some online classes. I didn't make it all the way through the 12 steps. I was required to do, because of parole, I was required to do the 90 and 90. I knocked that out. To be honest, man, my music was my therapy, man. Like I just put all that pain and all that passion into that microphone, man, and that pen and pad, and that's why the term therapeutic music really means a lot to me, man, because it really is.
It is. Music can be a big therapy. You can get yourself lost in the music, and if that's a passion, it just forms good habits. And let's be real, it forms different connections in the brain. After a long-term drug use, it will start forming different passages in the brain because it hits you different. And, if that was part of what got you the dopamine that you're craving for, while you're in addiction, then hell yeah, listen to the damn music, you know? You
Yes,
know,
sir.
so what do you do now? Let's say you're going through a day and you're around in because in the business you're in, there's going to be all kinds of illicit drug use and alcohol and whatever else use. How do you deal with those people that are around you doing that?
Man, that's really ironic you say that, man, because recently I had an opportunity to work with an artist. I'm not gonna say no names, but an individual, I had got on the phone with about, setting up some studio time at their studio. And one of the first things I said was, how do y'all get down? What's y'all studio etiquette? When we're in the booth, we're recording, we're mixing. What's the theme? Is everybody popping bottles and doing lines and popping? What's the theme? Oh yeah, it's all that, man. We blazing and it's gonna be that right there was. He thought it was me asking. He always, that's what I want. But right then and there, he was shutting that whole network
Yeah.
down. And I was like, well, let me properly. Let me check the schedule, man. I'm gonna see what I can do, see if I can fit you in. And needless to say, man, I can't. Not that it would, trigger me to do something, but when I'm there to do a job.
Right.
Like the plumber shows up to your house or electrician, and they sitting there swigging on a beer talking to you about. No, that ain't
No.
business like that ain't professional. And
Right.
when I'm doing that microphone and that mix, man, I'm doing a job, but at the same time, man, I want to be clear headed. I want to say what I feel. I don't want that drug talking. I want to be talking. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
I think it hits harder when you are talking clear headed. It comes off as clear headed too,
right.
because when we get out of that thinking, we can start seeing things the way they are instead of what we perceive them to be,
Most definitely.
and so tell me a little bit about your the music history, what you do going doing that.
Well, man, all the way back to since I was in elementary, junior high, man, thumping on the desk and freestyling for the class, man. I've always had a thing for music. Started back really, my music was R&B. My older brothers were into rock and roll, heavy metal, and stuff like that. My sister and some of her friends turned me on to rap. So I kind of had a multi-genre, approach. My mom and dad had that country western, influence. And I just kind of put it all together. And for those out there, who've seen my profile, I don't got a box. I don't got a label. There ain't no stamp on me. I put it together. It doesn't matter what the style is. If it's beautiful, it's beautiful. That's the only thing you can call it. But I kept going, man. And like I said, I had a big gap where I got out. I got out and was on house arrest for a little while, and I had to, transition back into society. And when I started doing music again, a good friend of mine's an engineer, so I got to learning, kind of like a continuing education with my own music. And this was like a family member of mine, kind of through best friend type thing, but like raised up with him type deal. So he was willing to let me sit down next to him after I got through recording my music. And hey, let me show you this. This has changed, man. We got all these extra plugins we can use. Oh no, let's use this program. Don't forget about everything, man. Basically, I had to start fresh, and I really appreciate that. That's a family member of mine, my little nephew, Lil White the Plug, and he helped me out, got me on wax for the first time, recorded me fresh out of prison, 2020. He got me, man, one of my first recorded tracks, and from then it was on. We did a little concert in Houston, and at the same time, I'm working two jobs, man. I'm working at a Jiffy Lube during the day, and I'm working as a bouncer at the club at night, and man, trying to, man. After a decade, man, all you want to do is anything. You
Right.
stuck in a box for 10 years. You trying to do it all, see the world, But I kept my mind focused on the music, and man, finally here I am, man. And, I'm working some major deals with some major people now. So it's everything's coming together, man. The recovery aspect, the work side, doing this paralegal work is progressing and moving forward. The music is blowing up, man. I never believed this would happen, and it's like,
It's funny that I have you on here because I've got a little cousin that's self-made. He's a freestyle artist out of Denver or Boulder, Colorado. Tony Antonio or Tonio or something like that. I'll shoot you his information. He's opened up for Echo. He's opened up for Mercules. He's
really,
opened,
really.
yeah, he's opened up for some big names, and now he just opened a sandwich place in Boulder. He's doing really good for himself, and he's all self-made. He's also an orphan. He was my aunt's. He was my aunt's. My aunt died really young out of a brain aneurysm, and he had no parent. So he literally self-made himself. And literally from, I won't say homeless, but parentless. He had aunts and uncles still and sisters, but parentless to where he is now. It's crazy that he was able to do that and do it without addiction, and it's not part of his life. So it's really good to see my little my little cousin doing that, because you know what, he could have totally went the wrong way, and it's just amazing that he didn't.
Yes, that's a huge blessing that he never was forced to walk that life, man.
Yeah. I see him on Facebook, and he's so proud that he's part owners in this sandwich shop. I can't even remember the name of the sandwich shop in Boulder. If I lived in Colorado, I'd be eating there. That's for damn sure, but it's doing pretty good. It's pretty, and he's a single father. He co-parents, but he's a single father.
Right on.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah. So during this process, what does recovery or what does staying sober mean to you, and what has it given you back? Yeah, I know about the music. And so what does it mean to you going forward? How are you giving back?
Man, as far as giving back, I mean, I've got a whole lot of people in my square that, like, I'll name, one person, not specifically, but I got a buddy that's going through a tremendous battle right now, and he's got a history of addiction. He's got a history of relapse, and he just had a major tragedy. I mean, huge, something unimaginable in his life, man. And I'm trying to be like the big brother, man. I'm trying to get his mind off of things, and get him on something positive, and remind him of my story. At one point he was at a breaking point, and he come over here, just to vent. And I hear what he's doing, and I hear what he's saying he's doing. And I walked over and I grabbed my old prison box, my little glance over of reality once in a while, and I grabbed my rice bag of pictures. And I said, man, I watched my kids grow up in these, and I slapped them. And I slapped them with the pictures. I said, now sit down and look through them pictures, man, and tell me you want to watch your kids grow up through them pictures, like I had to for a decade.
Right.
And you out there doing this and this and this, and you want to blame it. Yeah, you can blame it all day long. Everybody be like, I understand, but I don't understand, because life itself is an obstacle. Every single aspect of it. So you can do the blame game all you want and make excuses. We all got excuses, But I just try to be positive, man, and just try to give back. And anybody not necessarily younger than me, but anybody that hasn't seen some of the dark, dirty alleyways that I've seen, I try to, whether through my music or just a conversation, but I'm a damn sure try to make an interception if I see you hitting to catch the wrong ball. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the only thing we can do, If, we can say something, we can try, but you know what? It's still on them, and that's that's sometimes the hardest thing, is it's on them, because you know what? I feel as if I can help somebody not go through what I went through, just by the knowledge that I bring, just by telling them what I went through, and slapping them upside the head sometimes, and saying, hey, look, but if they choose the other way, oh, well, sometimes you got to cut your losses. And I know that sounds terrible, and I know that sounds bad, but sometimes you have to cut your losses so they don't drag you down, whether it be emotionally, mentally, physically, or anything else. And how do you deal with that?
Man, I've actually had it happen with my own kids. My son is really You know, he's the junior of me. He's got my name, and he is a spitting image of what I was when I was his age. And I had to completely remove him from my life and tell him, man, when you want to quit doing what you're doing and you want to grow you a pair and square up like a man and hey, come back around. Until then, hey, I don't have room. I don't care if we, I don't care if we blood or not. You know, I don't have no room in this, this room in this whole area for any negative, anything.
Right.
We could be best friends. We could be. You could. I don't care if you my mom. I don't care. You know, I don't. I'm trying to do for me and my household positive movements. Everything good energy. Me and my old lady, we don't argue. We don't fight. But if a fight starts, we're gonna squash it. We're gonna finish it immediately because I'm not doing this tomorrow morning cold shoulder. Tomorrow evening we ain't talking. No, that ain't relationship. That's
No,
torture.
it's not. It is torture. So how do
Yeah.
you deal with the day to day, the stresses, outside of, because let's be real, we're addicts because it is easier to cope with addict life than it was. We're just forgetting or trying not to remember or numbing. So how do you deal with those emotions that come along now?
I mean, I engage in psychotherapy, talk therapy. I have a therapist that I'm real close with. I'm real big on meditation. I get out of this world in different ways these days. You know, I put a I put an instrumental on and I vibe out. You know, I got ways that I still suffer from anxiety due to that addiction to Xanax. I
Right.
still have panic attacks. I still have overwhelming PTSD from the shit I've seen in prison in a decade. So I get away in meditation and in therapy. I talk it out, and once again, in my music, man, just sitting back and listening to my music on repeat. You know, two, 23, 24 songs on repeat. Man, by the time your little old sessions over with doing that, you're good, man. So that's a big part of it.
It's got to keep you busy, mixing tracks, making tracks. It probably occupies a lot of your time. So how do you schedule for that? Is it all scheduled, or is it just come as it goes, or do you plan on it, or you just deal with it as it comes?
Well, I mean, I got free time. I mean, I work for myself, so a lot of the times the work I do, the legal work, I can knock it out in 3 or 4 hours at night. The wife might be asleep, and I'm wide awake due to everything on my mind. So I'll come in here and get in the office and knock out some legal drafting or some research or whatever. And next day I'll be free for 3 or 4 hours. But what I do, I grab that microphone and set up and uh, and it just goes like that. My wife works evenings, so I pretty much have evenings, and do a little cooking in the evening, getting everything ready. And on her off days, I shut it down just about everything. And that's me and baby time.
So when she's off, it's your time together as a
Yeah,
couple.
yeah. And I got other people that I sub out everything to on those days. I just favor for a favor type deal. Hey, take care of these 2 days, and I got you. You know, on the other 2 days, something like that.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
how do you sponsor anybody? Have you sponsored anybody, or because I know that's mainly a step thing, a 12-stepper thing, or an active recovery like program type thing. So
Yeah.
have you ever formally sponsored anybody, or you just do it like, I'll just talk mentor people?
Yeah, I've mentored, but I've never formally sponsored anybody. No, I've never got that title given to me. That's one I can say I haven't. But I've mentored, and I really like mentoring. I got somebody I'm about to start teaching from scratch how to just do what I'm doing for a living, and at the same time, this young man is brilliant, man. I mean, he ain't he ain't got a criminal background. He don't do drugs. He don't even drink. Don't smoke. And man, you don't think I'm gonna throw in that in
Oh,
that in
absolutely.
I'm gonna go down every road I can with him to keep him on that track.
All the knowledge. Here's all of it. Good, bad.
Yeah,
Otherwise, here you go. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
don't
He
do
gonna
what
do.
I did, please.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Most definitely.
So if you got a chance to go back to the prison that you're locked up in and talk about addiction and mental health, would you?
Actually, I'm pursuing it. I'm wanting to. I got one more year before I'm actually allowed to. But man, I've got the application on the computer right now. Like I want to
And
go back. I want to go back so bad, man.
that was TDC.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
TDC.
those are nothing nice either, because I was locked up in Colorado. It's not nice. No prison's nice. It's just variables of difficulty,
Yeah,
and but I think that would be some of the most rewarding because it's people like us, like you and me, and to be an example or something that they can strive for, something that they can see as possible, I think would speak more than some Yahoo off the streets coming and telling you, hey, if you did this, you wouldn't be doing that. That would have never worked for me. In fact, it never did.
most definitely. Most definitely. Most
So
definitely.
tell me what you got going on. Come down the pipe. Anything new that's going on? New tracks you're coming up with, new CDs, new sounds, whatever else is going on. Let's hear some.
Man, new tracks come out every day. I got a little boneyard, I like to call it, of tracks that like if I get a 8 or 9 hour gap whenever I got some free time, and I don't think going to the mall and shopping. I'm an Amazon freak, man. I get on Amazon for 30 minutes and do 3 hours worth of shopping at the mall. But if I got a gap where I ain't got nothing to do, man, I'm in the booth, man. I got people from the karaoke bars, that I've already been and gave my cards to, and man, they're calling me, hey, man, can we get they come in, they sing what I tell them to sing, do what I tell them to do, and they leave with a $50 bill and a jump drive of what they just recorded, and it's mine. Because I'm selling these songs. I'm
yeah,
ghostwriting, selling them, and I don't got the voice for everything I write. So you got to find that. Whether it be AI or whether it be an average Joe or somebody your friend told you about she heard at church. Whoever, give them my card. Give them my card. I want to talk to them. Get them on the phone. Schedule it, set it up. But man, I just put a song. I just posted a song this morning. You know, every day, every other day, you'll see I take 2 or 3 days off a week, but then it's back to back. It's back to back. But I'm doing a big compilation with 830 Smooth. That's Hustle Man he's out of Colorado. DJ Chopwell from Pensacola, Florida. Them two got a little compilation mixtape, and they asked me to get involved in it. So that's coming out most likely in about 2-3 weeks. We're getting all the tracks together right now. And I'm linking up with some people. I just did a feature with Mickey Bang, Rio Grande Valley. Man, I got a whole lot of things in the works. Some things are definite, some things aren't. So I can't speak on some of them until I lock it in. But
right.
I'm really trying to get Cole Ford to buy. He's who wrote a bunch of Jason Aldean songs. And I don't know if you noticed on some of my songs, I'm telling people tag Cole Ford. I finally got in touch with his management team, so I'm working on getting him and getting them to grab some of my music from me. And from then on, man, like the sky's the limit, man.
Absolutely. So how does the paralegal practice, you say you became paralegal, how does that fit with the music industry? Are you able to write your own contracts now? Do you understand the law better? Or?
Yes, sir. One of the first things I learned at Bryant Stratton College was contract law, and then I mastered contract law. I jumped in family law, and my favorite was criminal law because of my past. But it turned out being criminal law is a lot slower. Family law is slow too, but it's a lot more popular. I'm real good at it, so I got into that. I worked under one of the most prestigious attorneys in Houston, and got my internship. And I just, because of my background, you can't just walk in a law firm. It don't matter how much your Gucci suit cost you. They're gonna run that criminal background. So I just decided to do it freelance, and I had my internship already. And so it's really me networking my company and selling my company and our services to the law firms, also helping pro se litigants, people who don't have the money to hire an attorney, but don't realize you don't need an attorney to do all this.
Right.
If you need to divorce your husband and get child support for your kids in custody, all you need is a pen and a paper. But you don't know how to write the draft and that petition and that
Right.
motion. That's where I come in.
Okay. So how does that, who gave you your first shot as a paralegal? And, do you like that? Do you like that, doing that and being able to help? Because, a lot of times coming out as a criminal, the only type of lawyer you're seeing is a friggin' another district attorney.
Well, my first client was in the penitentiary, helping somebody I knew was innocent. I done read the case and knew they had a court appointed attorney who didn't care, just wanted to get paid and get him sent on. Well, I helped him, and I realized, man, it was fascinating to me, researching the law and gathering gathering all the research and getting it together and filing. And then when you get a good result, man, it's ammunition for the next round. And I just kept doing it. And when I got out, like I said, there was a little pause where I had to, get back, transition back into society. But man, really, man, I was watching this TV show about 3 years ago, Suits.
I love Suits. I love Suits. That's my favorite show.
Suits kicked me in my ass, man. I thought I was Mike Ross. I saw that show and I'm objection, Your Honor. Objection.
I'm freaking Harvey. I don't care, man. I'm Harvey Specter.
Everybody want to be Harvey. Everybody, but see, I had the criminal aspect. I had to be Mike Ross.
Yeah, Mike Ross is the shit, though.
Yeah,
but hey, Harvey's just as much a criminal, but he does it legally.
Yeah. Well, after that, man, I just started thinking, and over a process of about 3 weeks, I got on and applied for Bryant and Stratton College. It's an online, deal. And I just stuck with it, man. And it really showed me, you jump into something, you're not sure. After about, 2 or 3 weeks, if you ain't still feeling it, it ain't for you. But if you still gung-ho, if you still eager to get up and, man, I got to be ready. If you still that eager, man, and I flew through it, man. And I really am glad. It's a fulfilling. It's just a great feeling, man. And there's bad days, there's bad outcomes, and you can't always help the person. You got people. 8 out of 20 people who call me, or I can't pay you, but I need help. And that's the hardest thing to tell somebody is, I've got a family to feed, but I do actually do a lot of work for people for nothing because I know how that feels, man. I've eaten some crackers and cheese for dinner nights and nights in a row, ramen noodles, beef jerky, and spam. So I do a lot. Kind of like pro bono, whatever I can do. If I can find the time, to do the work and still take care of my business. But yeah, that started out in prison, got out, jumped back in it, got some school, got some education in it. And it really fits me to a T, man, because I can sell water to a well, man, and if my phone rings, I got them,
Nice. Do you charge like per case, or do you charge per hour or per case, or what? Or just how much work it is?
It depends. If I'm working with a firm and they're overwhelmed and they just need this project assistance with it.
Oh yeah, charge the shit out of them.
Yeah, I charge $300 or $400 a day, or I charge $800 for the week, or sometimes it's a month long, like a murder case. Let's say they need research done, they need all kinds of motions filed, they need this done. The paralegal does everything the attorney says they do. The attorney literally shows, smiles, and talks. So they'll hire someone like me over here, and they'll hire 2 or 3 other people, and we'll work together remotely. And we'll get it all ready, exhibits ready, and then bam, I'll turn mine in, and I've already gotten paid half up front, So just like that, if I might help somebody out individually, a person saying, "Hey, you think you could help me get a modification on my divorce?" Yeah, it's simply some file work, and you go to court already prepared with your motions and everything, And in that case, man, I charge chump change just to help people out, man.
So why haven't you have you thought about pursuing going for a full lawyer, bar exam and everything, or is just not interested in that.
It's not possible. With a felony conviction, you can't be a
You
lawyer.
can't do it.
But I can make the money. I mean,
Yeah.
I can get up there. I can be a legal consultant. I can't give legal advice though. You know,
Right. Paralegal can't give legal advice.
you have to already have your agenda and ask me how to do it, and then you do it. Like I give you,
Right.
I show you, I make the paperwork for you. I can file the paperwork. I can show you everything, but you have to already have your agenda. You can't say what do I do? What should I do? I can't by law say, well, even I can't even friend to friend say, well, what I would do is this right here. That constitutes legal advice, and that's against the law in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think that's against the law in most states. You can't give legal advice, but you can, you know, however you said it, because you were right. You can't tell them what to do, but you can offer them advice. If I was you, I would do it this way.
Yeah. Of course, there's roundabout ways. You know, a friend of mine one time, I'll give you an example. He did this. You know, I'm not saying you should, but it reminds me of a. You know what I mean? There's more than one way to skin a cat. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, what else you got going on that's coming on in the future? I know you've worked with a lot of people that I know. So, what else have you got going on coming down in the future? And how do you plan on incorporating any of your recovery into your music, or any of the hope and the life after friggin' drugs, or life after addiction? Are you going to incorporate any of that into any of your music, or have you already?
Yes, I have. I was just about to say I got one song called "One Day at a Time." I've got another one called "One More Time." Basically, one more time around the block. It's a story of a man going back to his old neighborhood, old stomping grounds, seeing places where he bought dope, and seeing street lights where he neighborhoods, alleys where he did dope, and realizing how different it looks through clear eyes. One day at a time is just simply a breakdown of a man at a meeting, and the hope he gets from the people around him, kind of giving encouragement to people to not be in recovery alone, because it's almost impossible, man. Your recovery has to be out loud for it to function properly. And that's just a belief of mine. A lot of people agree. Some people could disagree. I don't care. But I just believe your recovery has to be out loud. You have to be bold about it. You have to share it. If you don't know somebody and they're in your company, you have to say, hey, within 2 or 3 days, you have to put that in the mix, because then at that moment they know not to step over that line. That's a boundary you set. When you say, oh, nice to meet you, and then after a few minutes, you want to be, no, it's all right, man. I've been sober 38 days, but I appreciate it. That shuts that down for that next offer, for that next Wednesday when y'all see each other again. And that's recovery out loud.
It is. It is. Have you met a lot of people in the recovery community, and how big is the recovery community where you live?
Well, my recovery committee's online. I mean, I don't have like a local group I go to. I work from home. My office is at my house.
You're in Houston, right?
Yeah, I'm a little bit north of Houston, Spring Woodlands area.
Conroe.
Yeah, right before Conroe. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I know a lot of recovery people out there.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
Lots.
Yeah, I've only been out here about a year and a half time period. I've been so busy. I mean, I've got groups I get on online, even some on TikTok. I'll get on there and hang with them and talk with them and share my story with them. I got a group that meets on Saturday mornings on Zoom. Pretty big group, about 20. On a big weekend, it's about 20. And we have a good little meeting and talk. And it's a mixture, of just alcohol, gambling, man, some of the craziest addictions in the world that I didn't even, food addictions.
Yeah.
I mean, I never knew these things existed, but I'm being educated,
It's all ways people deal with things, it's just to make themselves feel better, or just because they feel like shit, and it's just all a way of coping with whatever situation you're going through, whether it be porn, addiction, gambling, food, right, people, whatever the case may be. It's just a way to cover of what you're really feeling. And that's what the biggest, addiction's a side effect of what we go through. Addiction is a side effect of the way you covered it up. And whatever the case may be, we didn't all start off, oh, let me try some of this and become an addict. No, it's a side effect of it all. And,
Right.
Being able to break that stigma of, addicts are bad people. Addicts, there's something wrong mentally with it. There's nothing wrong mentally with us. It's we got used to not wanting to feel something.
True. And we have the backbone to admit it.
Right.
Half the addicts, half the people you meet are addicts.
Yeah.
And they won't even realize that glass of bourbon, them 3 glasses of bourbon is a problem. Now,
Right.
I mean, I'm a bourbon drinker. I got 3 or 4 bottles of bourbon up there, vodka, gin, but I have a glass every 3 or 4 weeks, maybe every 2 months. I just like my wet bar and the way it looks. It's pretty, but I'll go in there and drink a Budweiser 2 or 3 every other day. But half the people come home from work and they have to have that bottle of wine, But they'll look you dead in your eye and be like, oh, no, I don't want somebody there. Like, I know you're an addict. What do you mean? And they have no idea that the whole day they're thinking about that bottle of wine. You're in the same boat as me. We just got, a different crew. That's it. So it's all good though, man. It is what it is, man. I'm bold enough to stand up on mine and own it, and I proudly say it, because some of the best people I've met have been people that have been flat on their ass and found their way back up again. And I love that. I love that, man. We all built from broken pieces, man.
Absolutely.
That's love.
Absolutely. And that goes just to the mentality of us. That goes to the strength of us as individuals and characters, our character, because we've been drugged through the fire. We've been drugged through all this hell. We've been drugged through the flames and all this shit, yet we're still here to help the next person and talk about it. And that's the main thing right there. And like I ask everybody at coming close to the end of the show, if there's one thing that you want anybody that's listening to know, what would that be?
Man, don't ever doubt yourself, man. If you can believe, then you can achieve. I mean, like, even if you wake up, the moment you open your eyes and you think, man, today's going to be a bad day, get out of bed. Take that step.
Yeah.
Put your work boots on. Say your prayers. Brush your teeth. Start that day off. And try your best to get that negative shit out your mind, because you speak and think it comes to reality, man. I'm a firm believer in that.
Me too. And during this process, did you have to come to terms with a higher power? Did you find your higher power, whatever that case? That mine's Jesus Christ. So, did you have to come to terms and find that higher power to get you through it?
I didn't have to. It happened miraculously. It happened. I've got my own religion. I don't really got a label on it. I got a God. I talk to him every day. I pray. I talk to my God like he's my best friend, man. It's just something that happened along the way, somewhere between prison and today. I got my own thing going, and man, like I said, there ain't a church to broadcast because there's no name for it. But I got respect for all different, faiths, denominations. And my brother that lives with me is Jew. My wife's a Christian. I'm a renegade, man. But I believe in God, and I try to do good and practice good morals, and give good advice and be positive. So I think I'm all right with the big man.
I think that sounds more Christian than most Christians want to admit.
Right on.
And on that's our show today. Thank you for being a guest on it, Rocky. If there's anything else you want to hit yourself up, plug yourself, tell them where to go to listen to your music.
Yeah, y'all can check me out on TikTok as always, man. It's Rocky Too Cocky. On Instagram, it's Rocky Too Cocky, or produced by Rocky. I'm on YouTube, Rocky Beats 713. That's my instrumental. I sell beats to everybody. You can check me out, produced by Rocky, on YouTube. I'm slow on the YouTube touch because I ain't got the response I wanted, but always TikTok and produced by RockyTX@gmail.com. If you ever just want to hit me up about anything. Last but not least, man, much love and respect to all my loyal fans, dedicated fans, just keeping me getting up every day doing what I'm doing, man. Much love and respect, and Rocky blast that.
Absolutely. And that's our show for today. Keep rocking your recovery. And until next time, we're out.
Yes, sir.